Hey, Kentucky, this is Mary Jo Perino. Tonight, get the latest on the pandemic. Plus, a big-name basketball cat is spotted with a hand cast. And Mark Stoops talks about UK's newly released football schedule. And we'll also break it down with Dusty Bonner. All that and more is next on Hey, Kentucky. Welcome to Hey Kentucky, along with LEX 18 Sports Director Keith Farmer. And Keith, when you only have SEC opponents, your schedule is going to look pretty tough.
It's definitely going to be a tough one, week in and week out, across the board.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see, though. We'll talk about it here in just a minute. But first, let's begin with the pandemic, as we always do. Governor Beshear says the White House has certain Kentucky counties listed in a red zone. That means there's a 10% positivity rate or higher. He says some of these counties have started having in-person classes for school. Beshear has also raised concerns about tightening supplies of testing materials and personal protective equipment in the fight against COVID-19. The news comes after the state recorded its highest number of cases in a single week last week, with more than 4,300. Beshear is hoping the state has reached a new plateau in weekly cases. Meanwhile, Senator Mitch McConnell has sent a letter to the governor urging him to accept a supplemental $300 in federal weekly assistance for Kentucky's unemployed workers under a White House offer that won't require any extra spending by the state. Beshear says his administration has reviewed the application. Keith, that would presumably be replacing that $600 of extra money that folks were getting for a while.
Yeah, which, like he said, $300 is $300. We're going to take it. He sounds like he's leaning towards doing that. And it was odd that he said he talked to some other governors yesterday who didn't even know this program was out there and that it was available. So for him, he should probably take advantage of it now before everybody else jumps in on board too.
That's right. Turning to UK basketball now, this is not a sight True Blue fans wanted to see. Freshman guard B.J. Boston sporting a cast on his left hand on his first day of class, walking alongside the likes of Lance Ware, Cameron Fletcher, Jacob Toppin, and Kentucky football defensive back Joel Williams. On their way to class, Boston was shown with a full hard cast tucked into his sweatshirt. An Instagram photo posted by Williams. A statement from UK says, quote, "We can confirm he injured his finger while at home playing basketball. He is being evaluated and treated by the medical staff. We look forward to getting Brandon back on the court as soon as possible." And Keith, I think this is an abundance of caution. I don't think it's super serious, which a hard cast usually looks super serious.
Well, I think it's kind of like if you remember when guys would maybe sprain an ankle and they'd put them in a hard cast, and all of a sudden we think, oh my gosh, they're going to be out for several weeks, and it's just to protect it through the weekend, let them get some treatment on it and everything. So it's probably the same thing with the cast. Let's just keep it immobilized while we check it out and make sure everything's okay, and then we'll get him out and we'll get him working again.
Yeah, no need to hurt it worse right now. Last night we talked about the SEC releasing 2020's full conference-only football schedule, and it didn't take long for the odds makers in Vegas to get to work. In the first run of opening lines released last night, the Action Network listed Kentucky as 11-point underdogs when they head to Auburn for the opener on September 26th. College football insider Brett McMurphy also released a few more early projections, including two future Kentucky games. The first, a pick'em in Week 2 at home against Ole Miss, followed by an end-of-the-year projected one-score win over South Carolina. Meanwhile, head coach Mark Stoops went on a Zoom call today to update us on the team. He says no one has chosen to skip the season over COVID-19 concerns.
Our players have been told from myself and from Mitch Barnhart directly that they have every opportunity to opt out with no repercussions, no penalties. And at this point, I have not had one person come to me and talk to me about opting out. That's not to say that it could not come here today or in the future, but at this point, I have not heard of anybody.
Former UK quarterback Dusty Bonner will join us in our next segment to break down the full schedule. Keith, the odds makers also put Kentucky at 4.5 wins. I'll take the over on that.
I saw another odds maker that had him at 5 wins, basically what that is. And then a 16-1 shot to win the East. Doesn't sound too bad.
No.
Puts him in 4th place out of the teams with the best chance at winning. I still think this is a special team, and if they get a chance to play, they're going to really get some wins that maybe people didn't expect. Maybe even Week 1 at Auburn.
hey, I will take it. I will take it. I like our home schedule, too. I think most of those games are winnable. Georgia is going to be tough, but I think we can win all the rest of them.